Well, I'm out in the country today. I got a call from someone that owns an estate. So I came out here and I'm about to go into the property and hopefully work out a deal with the seller. I really like this property. It's on 2 acres and I know I could turn it and make a good profit. But we're here today to talk about a question about maximizing cash flow our rental houses. How exactly to do that? Let me give you 5 little tips, strategies to do that. Number 1, location. All of us as investors, as we enter into this business, have to figure out what's right for us. The right location for our rental properties. Personally, I prefer outer suburbs of major cities, places where there's growth, population growth, job growth. I like to be near transportation. And the reason for this is I like twofold. I like cash flow, certainly, but I also like appreciation. I like growth of the value of that house over time. Now, some investors prefer to go into working class neighborhoods. They prefer to go out in the country. Maybe their cash flow is a little bit greater, but they might not get as much growth and appreciation. So I'm kind of greedy. I like a little bit of everything with my rental properties. Number 2. You want to have effective financing. Folks, you can't afford to pay hard money lenders high interest rates and points to keep these properties long term. Sure, you can use those folks for effectively taking down or buying the property, but eventually 6 months, a year down the road, once the house is rent ready, once you have a good tenant in the property, you want to refinance. You want to take out good long-term affordable financing. Maybe that's through owner financing. Maybe that's through private investors. But you have to get good, effective, long-term financing to maximize your cash flow. Number 3, you want to have effective tax planning. And what I mean by that is you got to find a good accountant. That should be one of the first people on your team if you're looking to maximize cash flow on your rental property. Find someone that's familiar and is good with long-term rental real estate. They will help you effectively maximize that cash flow through depreciation, through writing off expenses, through eventually maybe doing a starker exchange and building up your portfolio that way. So finding good tenant is very, very important. Number 4, I call it tenant relations. You want to take time early on in the process to screen good tenants. Your goal here is you want a tenant to stay in your property long term, 3, 4, 5 years or longer. You don't want to constantly be turning over tenants. That costs you money, and that's going to effectively hurt your cash flow. So you really want to find good long-term tenants to maximize that cash flow. And finally, a twofold. You want to keep up with market conditions. You want to keep up with rents. You want to effectively raise your rent over time to continue to be part of that market, if you will, to keep your rent steady with that market. Now, you don't want to gouge people. You don't want to be going up 20, 25% a year like some landlords, but effectively raising your rents over time will help you increase your cash flow over time. So I hope these 5 strategies, these 5 tips help you. Take them to heart, sit back, think about them, and put them into place as you start acquiring rental real estate.